Hello, my beautiful people. So, we are going to dive deeper into shadow work because it is necessary. We have a path here, and I promise you, if you watch most of these, if not all of these videos in order, there will be a sequence of patterns. You will notice we all are going on a path somewhere. I don't know exactly where yet. No, I do, but it's a secret. Okay, anyway, so the reason I'm holding these cards is to basically confirm the energy, the confirmation for the topic. I do not handpick these cards. I literally just shuffled these right before I started making this video. I already knew what I was going to talk about, but here we are. So, if you don't feel called to do this reading, listen to this reading, just skip ahead like 3 minutes and you'll be good. But yeah, stick around because we have the Empress energy here. This is why we did it. Literally the only reason. I really couldn't think of any other reason. No, seriously, this is the reason. Empress energy, babe. You own it. You are on top of it. You've learned everything that you possibly could from your karmic lessons, and you went through so many tower moments to get there, but those tower moments eventually became like not scary at all. Like it was like, wow, okay, another one, cool. What is? Guess that means we're just changing things basically. Like it was literally a shift in your paradigm where you started to realize like just because it was like it was like a deemed negative situation, or maybe it was negative but you still had a positive outlook, like you were still like, hey, you know what, I can learn something about myself and from other people here, whatever. Let's let bygones be gone bygones and just grow from the situation because we don't need any of that drama in our life anyway. And yeah, we're a big girl. So all those tower moments brought you into this Empress energy. Well, I won't even say that because you were the Empress before the tower energy. The tower energy just is basically just you proving to yourself that, yeah, I am that bee. Exactly, you are. Now, with that being said, the last card that we have here, obviously, the universe. So you can start understanding the universe better, how things operate, but also how you can manipulate energy and manifest your dreams and desires and figure out what that even is. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But yes, you really do have this power at your fingertips. And when you do the karmic work, when you do the shadow work, and you start actually diving into like your patterns, your attachment styles, your detachment styles, your personality, and the things that when you start making healthy boundaries for your energy, you start realizing the flow of energy you have to recharge before you can pour into somebody else's battery, and vice versa. Like there's so many things that you have to realize when we're manipulating energy, especially witchcraft and spiritual work, whether you believe in it or not. Like doing spell work, especially for other people who have chaotic lives. I love you guys. I seriously do. But some of your lives are chaotic. Like that drains your energy. It literally does. And I mean, yeah, you can recharge your energy, and it's not like, somebody's bad juju for the most part. Hopefully you protect yourself when you're doing certain spells, but for the most part, bad juju won't just rub off on you and stay attached to you for like ever. Sometimes it does. It really depends on whose demons we're dealing with. But for the most part, you can really just kind of cleanse yourself pretty easily and protect yourself pretty easily if you know what you're doing. That being said, it still takes a lot of learning. Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't reach it. It's just not happening. Okay, I got it. There we go. So the Hermit card was the last card that we're going to pull here because, yeah, I told you guys, I'm literally shuffling this right in front of you. The Hermit, bro. You went into the Hermit mode so you could learn all that spiritual wisdom. You were like literally in the dark. You had the snake at your feet just kind of like twirling around you the whole time. But you had this little gem of light, bro. And it was reflecting from your palm. You know what that means, bro? That's your intuition. Yeah, I know. Crazy. Your intuition is super powerful, and you learned how to master your intuition. You learned how to not overthink, but also master your intuition, where you were trusting yourself and trusting your healing process and giving yourself patience and being patient with yourself. That is so, like, you deserve so many golden stars. Like, if there is an all-you-can-eat buffet, just go ahead and stay there for hours, because they don't usually charge by the hour anyway. So just stay there all day if you can, because you deserve all of that. You deserve the whole buffet. Anyway, seriously, shadow work is not easy. And, when you start actually making effort into healing, like, the universe is going to reflect back at that. They're going to be like, hey, we see this person healing, taking a different perspective and a different approach. Let's reward this fool. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it happens, I think. But the universe is really going to start noticing you putting effort towards your healing process, and it's going to show you different routes and easier paths for you to take. It's going to challenge you, but not in any way where it's going to be like too much. There are some really challenging aspects in life. Don't get me wrong. It really depends on your path and your journey. There's some struggles that we go through, some really dark things that we go through here on planet Earth. So be real with yourself through the healing process. Learn that you cannot control and heal the rest of the planet. You're just here to heal yourself, and by healing yourself, you're going to reflect that energy back towards other people. So healing yourself is how you heal the rest of the world. Like, you're not going to heal them by trying to get them to be like knocking on their noggin, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Just don't bother. I've tried it before. It doesn't work out. Okay, so obviously, hopefully, you know that if you've made it this far. But shadow work and karmic energy, the reason they are so important to understand both of them is because they go hand in hand. Your karmic energy, the things that you go through, situationships, dealing with other people, it gives you this realization that you are not here to manipulate other people, and you're not capable of. Well, I mean, you're not capable of fully manipulating people into this world, that this grandiose world that you see or perceive as, right or whatever. Like, it's not going to, the more you try to pull on that type of thing, the more it pulls away from you and causes chaos into your life. So the more you want things to be a certain specific way, the less it's going to be. So don't force things in the universe. Let things happen the way they go naturally and learn from it, because there's always a perspective that we can gain, because we're just one individual. We have to realize there's so many other people in the world that have their own way of living because they've lived a certain way or they went through certain experiences. You're not going to get that better part of you maybe. Okay, I was watching this show, Peripherals. It's on Amazon Prime. Definitely recommend it. Sorry, this isn't a movie channel, but like, they were jumping, so they have like these. I'll try to give you the gist and not try to spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But okay, so they're in these like robot bodies in a simulated world, and there's this way where they can like tap into somebody else's like robot and like see their life. They can see into that person's experiences. They can feel their energy. They can feel their emotions, and so it just like burst through you, and you get like this sense of euphoria. It's almost like a drug. In a lot of ways. I don't know, maybe that's a little harsh, but like it feels really great, like in the show peripherals. So like you're never gonna get the beauty of that. I mean, in some glorious magical world, maybe we will have simulations like that eventually, probably, but we don't have that now. So the point is you're never going to just be able to jump into somebody else's shoes and know everything about them and the world around them. It's just, it doesn't work that way. So you have to give life an open perspective. It is 5:33, by the way. Just saying. Like, You have to have an open perspective about things when you're trying to learn about the world around you, because you are not perfect. You do not have everything figured out. The more you think you have everything figured out, the more life is going to be like, nah, actually. And then it's going to giggle and laugh in the background and throw you down this pit of doom. But yeah, so just don't force it. Don't act like you know everything, and don't don't think you know everything, because that is probably the worst thing you can do, is think that you know everything, because it's not true. So, that being said, shadow work, working on healing, working how you approach situations, working how you communicate with other people and communicate with yourself, especially, and doing a lot of that mirror work. Mirror work is really powerful, by the way. I have a few videos about that. Like, do the inner self love, the inner self care, start prioritizing your own energy before others, and you'll start to realize why you went through so much of that karmic journey. And it was because you're here to bring this wisdom down to other people, like your children, your grandchildren, and just people that you meet in your everyday life. There's so many people, so many crazy instances that it's like there is no such thing as a coincidence. You meet people in the streets all the time, and then you have no idea how much impact you can have on somebody's life just by saying a very simple sentence. So, just understand that you have this intricate little piece in place in the world, and it is important whether you realize and acknowledge that or not. And that's where your spiritual journey starts to begin, because you start to really look inward, and you realize that you're not so much a victim, and that you don't have to be a victim anymore, even if you were victimized by other people, and there were like abusers in your life. Like, you have a way of regaining that strength, and that's when you start to pick up that knowledge and that wisdom, because then you realize that, even though maybe people made you feel like you were lesser, or you made yourself feel lesser, or whatever it was, like, there's things that you can start approaching when you start seeing that other people have had these same emotions, they've had the same feelings, and they've had the same experiences, and you can understand that your reaction or your response to something was natural and usually normal. Maybe not always, but usually normal. So, like, realize that your emotions are validated, and then you start to see that, just because it happened doesn't necessarily mean it needs to keep happening. You know what I mean? So, once you start realizing the patterns, realizing the cycles, and start utilizing shadow work, you can start breaking chains. It's crazy. But then you start gaining this strength, this spiritual wisdom, where things that may have been catastrophic to you in the past, or may even be catastrophic to other people, they do not affect you the same way they used to. And quite honestly, they probably don't even affect you anymore. And like most things probably don't oh my god, you gonna look at this right now. Oh, that was so painful. But yeah, the high priestess. You did all that work to become this high priestess, so you could really start honing down on your manifestations. But not even just manifestations, but figuring out what you want to manifest too, because there's a shadow work process, and that sort of healing. You have to do your inner child work and do your wound healing, like your inner child wound healing, before you can start figuring out what you really want out of life. Maybe not always, but for the most part, people are really stuck in this idea that they're not able to accomplish things when they're older, or like in their future. Like, they feel like, I'm never going to get the chance to be healthy again, because I'm just too old, and I'm too like sluggish, I'm too overweight, or whatever it is, and I'm never going to make this work. It's just never going to happen. So you start seeing that mentality when you start recognizing patterns, and you can see that it's